guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Hurrian Tiffany Chan. I am a classical musician and I do videos on YouTube. And the videos will be about music apparently, and tips for auditions, for example, and a lot of other things. I also do a lot of sharing about my journey in life and my musical journey and a lot of stories. If you're interested, please feel free to press the subscribe button. I will upload a new video per week. So yeah. So today I'm going to talk about sight reading. I think if you are a classical musician, you will know that definitely that sight reading is kind of like a requirement. If you realize, if you're doing orchestral, orchestra, youth orchestra auditions when I was young, at least, or if you're doing bachelor exams, entrance auditions, they tend to give you a piece of small music to sight read, and there's a reason for that. I think especially for orchestral instruments like strings, woodwind, brass, we play a lot of orchestral instruments. I don't know about pianists. If they are accompanists, they're required to sight read quite fast, and yeah, but mostly it's for strings and people who play in orchestra. And don't get me wrong here, it doesn't mean that what I'm gonna say is a trick. It doesn't justify you to walk in to the rehearsal without practicing anything in advance. I think as a professional orchestral musician, you have to do your work in advance in order to play well in the orchestra and in order to play well as a group. So don't get me wrong here, but what I'm trying to teach you is how to spend less time on practicing orchestral pieces. For example, Mahler's symphony, any one of them is extremely long, and you might not only have that repertoire in hand. So here comes the technique on how to learn the music more efficiently, and that requires our sight reading skills. So here I'm going to talk about something that you can do to improve your sight reading skills, and particularly in orchestral music. The first tip I'm going to give you is sight read more. I think it's a fixed rule for everything. The more you do, the better you will get. And this one it requires time really. For me, I think it came quite naturally because I'm very fortunate to have quite a lot of opportunities to play in orchestras. I played in a lot of youth orchestra since 10 or something, before 10 actually. Since I was at the age of 9 or 10, I started to play in a lot of orchestras. I participated in a lot of orchestras in my city. They like to give new pieces and try it together as an orchestra on the spot. So it required us to have some ability to learn the music faster. So I think it's eventually something that I developed over time, because in my home country we focus on academic studies a lot, so I didn't really have any time at all. Eventually I developed my own way to sight read the piece more fastly, and the more I do, the more I get used to the sight reading mode. So I would suggest you to try to play in as much orchestra as you can. You might say, oh, I don't have the resources to play in orchestras, I really can't do it, I'm super busy. Then what you can do is go online. It's called IMSLP. So on this website, you've got a lot of scores, from solo pieces, chamber music, to orchestral works, to many of the pieces. Download it and do it regularly. For example, today I'm going to do one page of Mozart, Marriage of Figaro. I'm going to do one page only. The other day I'm going to do the second page, third, fourth, etc. And eventually you will find your own way to read music. I'm not teaching you the exact way. I can give you some tips and hints, but I strongly believe that everybody has its own, brain, has their own, system in learning stuff. So this kind of stuff can help you to understand yourself, and eventually you'll get used to the way, the mode, the sight reading mode, what I talked about just now. I really recommend you to play in orchestras, because playing in orchestras is really different from playing yourself in your room. In an orchestra, you need to listen, you need to watch, you need to pay attention to a lot more stuff. So there's still a lot more to orchestra. Okay, the next one is practicing scales. So this one sounds very boring, but it's true. When I was small, I hated it. But soon I realized, especially when I studied in music conservatoire, my teacher told me, even I have to do scales. My teacher said, even I have to do scales. So at that time, I realized that, I need to stop being lazy. If I want to improve, I need to play scales. Okay, that's another thing. So why am I saying that scales can help you to improve sight reading? Because you might not realize, but it might seem very, boring and tiring to play scales, right? But if you look closely, or you don't have to look closely, just open your scale book, you'll realize they are all sequences and patterns, really. And music is made up of sequences and patterns too, actually. They're made up of different sequences, maybe thirds, sixths. The base of music, it always lies within the scales. The thing you're trying to build is muscle memory and the sequence, especially the string crossing, the fingerings, using different fingerings, the thirds, sixths, they're there for a reason. Because music are basically made up of those chords, those thirds, sixths, those scales even. Look at Mozart. His symphony, full of scales, full of, quavers. So this is why we have to practice scale, to get, the fingerings in our head, to get the sequence, patterns. And when we play a new piece, immediately our brain analyzes itself. Imagine your brain doing all the stuff by itself already, analyzing, okay, this scale, this is a sixth, okay, I'm gonna use this fingering. I promise you, you are going to have a much faster response to new music, to a new piece of music. The last one I'm going to talk about is always look ahead. So this one is quite obvious when I put it out now, but it might be hard to do when you are a beginner. So, but try to think like try not to think that you need to focus 100% on the bar that you're playing. For example, you're playing a B for this bar for 4 beats, it's a semi-brief. Then you play for 4 beats, and the next bar, you are doing something that's quite constant, right? That gives you a chance to look ahead. So for me, I would be like, if I'm playing a long note, right, I will skim through the score when I need to sight read, when I was lazy and didn't practice at all. So I would skim through the score and then and then even the next page, if I'm playing this page, and I will skim through this page if I'm doing something that's quite easy and quite constant. Is there any hard bits? Is there any quick bits? Is there any quavers that I need to play really fast? Then if I see something, then I will start to, I need to prepare myself for that. I think it's much better than you played until a bar before the quavers, where the hard bit lies. And then you play that bar, and you realize, oh my gosh, you're like, crap. The thing you want to do is prepare beforehand. Also, because for Mahler especially, or Tchaikovsky, they have like really extreme, dynamics or rhythmic changes. Maybe, or Shostakovich. A lot of the times they change the tempo quite, drastically. Maybe not for Tchaikovsky, but so you need to make sure you need to mark it down, maybe circle it. So you need to look ahead to any sudden dynamic or tempo changes. And there were so many times when I was younger, I forgot that I need to change the tempo, and then I got lost in music. That's what happened for so many times. So this is something that you can keep in mind when you are in a rehearsal or you're trying to sight read the piece on the spot. Indeed, sight reading is this very useful skill if you develop it. It can become a really useful tool, skill for you to bring it on to your orchestral rehearsals. But do not take it for granted and do not use it wrongly. What I mean is, it doesn't mean you can go into a rehearsal just to sight read. A lot of the times conductors are quite put off because the players, it can be quite obvious when the players are not prepared and they didn't practice. And one of the things that I would do is I would select passages to practice. Of course, the long notes, is all about, a lot of the times I would practice after the first rehearsal. Let's put it like that, because in rehearsal you're rehearsing with the conductor, and the conductor is going to tell you what he or she wants. So a lot of the color changes, you're going to write it on the score, and a lot of stuff, and bowings wise, and your principal might change anything. So, but before the first rehearsal, I would suggest you to select the harder passages and then, practice them. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, and if you like my content, please give it a thumbs up. It really means a lot to me, and yeah, stay tuned to my next video next week, and I'll see you next day. Then you will have a general idea, and at least you can fake it. Okay, anyway, I'm joking, but I did that a lot. Oh no, I'm filming. Okay, I always do my practice. Yeah, I do. What do you mean? I do, really. I practice every time and draw,